Hello everyone and welcome back to another Train Sim World Patchnotes video. This is the 11th of May update and it's a biggie. Today we are bringing one of the largest updates for Train Sim World 2, including preserved collection we've ever delivered. This update brings improvements to a range of products, but specifically for Rapid Transit and Long Island Railroad. And let's have a look at what's new for Rapid Transit. So added livery designer support, added rail driver support, added scenario planner support, improved audio for the DBBR 442 Talent 2, updated the incorrect text displaying when entering the Talent 2, updated the scenario designer to allow for 3 and 6 car formations when selecting the DBBR 442 Talent 2, added additional DBBR 442 Talent 2 formations to the scenario designer, removed the ability to turn the wipers off using the left D-pad on the DBBR 442 Talent 2, updated the subtitle dialog to stop the main audio dipping when they are displayed, resolved issues where the lamppost at Dessau Sud station was seen to be floating, updated the timetable for the rapid transit to include the use of trains from Rüsselsheim Nord, Colnarken and the DBBR 182. Updated the timetable to include missing dispatch beyond ticks for station stops. You should no longer see a red signal at every stop. Included journey mode to rapid transit that contains 3 chapters: introduction, driving in good weather and driving in poor weather. Updated the rapid transit timetable to include a name and description. Updated service name and description to remove some errors. Updated loco formations to allow the ability to drive in both directions. Updated localization to support the expanded timetable. Updated the mast material so they no longer look shiny. Implemented working passenger information display boards throughout the route, updated display board mounts, updated scenario planner setup with up-to-date naming conventions and options, updated train formations to stop them from appearing in the scenario planner incorrectly, updated 2 signals at Greppin so they are now facing the correct direction, improved the stopping distances so objectives are achieved with a more relaxed stopping tolerance, updated the speed limits at the junction outside Mackelberg-Gaschwitz to ensure they display correctly on the HUD, updated signs at the southern end of Wolven station to highlight the speed limit warning, which indicates a reduction in speed is required, updated the platform markers to use for full length of the platform to allow for longer trains, added LZB functionality between Leipzig Nord and Bitterfeld, added the country flag when selecting rapid transit in the route selection, updated the lighting after placing new PIS systems, fixed an issue with wind noise when standing up in the Dosto vehicles when the train is in motion, fixed an issue with opaque materials casting shadows on the Dostos, updated the description and journey mode to include the expansion to the scenario planner, fixed multiple instances where players could leave the playable area, updated level crossings across the route so they open and close dynamically, updated Leipzig Tunnel North entrance to prevent users falling out of bounds whilst exploring, fixed cars so they are no longer floating during the training scenario at Leipzig Nord, added road traffic at appropriate places throughout the route, improved the visual representation of the vegetation throughout the route, updated level crossing arms so they're now at a more realistic height, updated NPCs to stop them from crossing the tracks to get to another platform, updated the weather and sky system when selecting a scenario of free play weather, the visuals should be improved, updated track view distances and rendering, updated track ballast and sleeper materials so that the track renders smoothly ahead of the train, updated station directory so that the names display correctly in the PIS, updated the gap near the bridge north of Dulwich so that you can no longer leave for it, removed instances where the PIS mount was floating, updated underground stations and tunnels around Leipzig to remove weather, updated Schottor so that passengers are now able to access the platform from behind the station building, updated the end of platform 1 at Wolven so that it is now easily accessible by the metal stairs, added a range of localization fixes, fixed the typo in the rail driver setup so that the safety is spelled correctly, reformulated the timetable to factor updates to the BR182 formations, fixed an issue with control locking that would prevent the player from setting 20% 20% after the first passenger loading instruction. Fixed an issue with the PIS at platform 3 at Dessau HBF, so that no longer clips into trains. Fixed an issue at Leipzig Hauptbahnhof, so that lights on the station walls should no longer flicker as the players approach them. Fixed a number of issues with Leipzig Hauptbahnhof station mesh, LODs and light map. Fixed an issue with the Cipher pedal and wiper audio, so that they now make the appropriate sounds. And then for the DB BR182, added livery designer support, added scenario planner support, added rail driver support, added LZB functionality, improved the DB BR182 audio so that when you stand up from the seat at speed you don't hear the wind noise, fixed an issue with the opaque materials casting shadows on the 182, updated livery designer to remove a red line around the glass, updated the train to show the white stripe more consistently at the front and back, added a 5-second delay when enabling the battery to ensure the action correctly matches the instructions given, added a range of localization fixes, fixed instances of misnaming of PZB isolation switch to correctly refer to LZB isolation. Fixed an issue with the 182 so that the LZB now correctly sounds an alert when entering an LZB section. Fixed an issue that results in the wrong HUD indication when doors are opened at platforms. Fixed an issue with the control locking that would prevent the player from setting 20% after the first passenger loading instruction. Added a range of localization fixes, safety systems now default to off, and fixed an issue that prevented PZB from functioning as intended. And now for Long Island Railroad, added livery designer support, added scenario planner support, added rail driver support, adjusted the audio for the M7 so that the horn is now audible inside the cab and is louder when the window is open, updated audio so that it now can be heard when going over a junction, renamed collectibles so that they have unique names, removed 2 NEC collectibles from Penn Station and 2 collectibles from Sunnyside Yard, updated scoring on all scenarios in introductions, removed text from formations that no longer appear for the player and replaced with formations supplied in the scenario planner, added formations specifically for the timetable which will allow the substitution with an M3 add-on, updated instances where some of the subtitles were displaying incorrectly, added various localization fixes, improved the landscape so that the user can no longer access the area between railings, updated the station messages after adding the PIS system models so that it lightly feels natural and evenly cast across the station. Moved spawn locations to a better location at Belmont, added PIS boards throughout the route, updated the lights at Belmont so that the lampposts no longer flicker, improved the location of spawn points for NPCs at Carl Place, moved spawn points to a better location at Country Life Press, updated the station messages at East New York after the PIS models so that the light feels natural and evenly cast across the station, improved the location of spawn points for NPCs at East New York, added climbing tag to platform from Forest Hills to Hicksville, moved NPC spawn points to a better location at Forest Hills, Kew Gardens and Woodside, updated spawn points to be smaller and less obvious from the platforms at Hempstead, fixed an issue with passengers being bottlenecks at Hempstead Station, updated the spawn location so that NPCs emerge from the staircase instead of popping into view. Players are now unable to cross the bridge to Nowhere at Hillside Facility, updated the collision walls at Hollis to stop users from walking off into scenery, improved spawn points at Hollis, improved the location of spawn points for NPCs at Hunters Point Avenue, improved Kew Gardens to prevent the player from leaving the station, updated station directory names, improved visuals at Long Island City and you are now able to explore around the platforms more freely, improved lighting at Long Island City, updated spawn points for NPCs at Mineola to a better location, updated spawn points for NPCs at Maryland Avenue to a better location, upgraded the rendering of the third rail material to appear from underground so that no longer it pops in from a distance, improvements have been made to the weather during scenarios, improved the location of spawn points for NPCs at all stations, updated the assets on the Long Island Railroad to allow support and implementation of the PIS, improved the textures and colour of the track, improved the sleepers so that they are now in a better position further from the camera, improved the weather and sky for all areas, scenarios and routes, updated track rendering so that it is less obvious when it's popping in when looking at sleepers in the distance, improved spawn points at Nassau Boulevard to a better location, updated the spawn volume of passengers at Nassau Boulevard, improved spawn points for NPCs at Nostrand Avenue to a less obvious location, added climbing tag to platforms at Penn Station, Long Island City, Hunters Point, Woodside and Kew Gardens, updated the tunnel and added first-person lock to prevent the camera from clipping near Penn Station, improved the lighting in the tunnels from Penn Station. The camera is restricted to being inside the cab for a section of track that had clipping issues at Penn Stations. Updated track, steps and roofed areas to stop showing snow during winter weather, improved spawn points for NPCs at Penn Station to a less obvious location, improved the landscape and vegetation surrounding Queen's Park Station, improved spawn points at Stuart Manor to a better location, improved spawn points at Queen's Village to a better location, improved the landscape at Sunnyside facility to meet with the new track ballast and remove the gap. Improved spawn points for NPCs at Westbury to a less obvious location, added PIS throughout the route, updated lighting in the station and tunnel at Atlantic Terminal, added a collision volume to prevent the player from leaving the platform at Mineola, improved traffic spawn locations at East New York and Forest Hills to a better location, updated the bridge at Sunnyside facility so that you are no longer able to leave the playable area, removed the possibility for a loaded 12-car and empty 4-car M7 trains from being blocked, moved some signal placements at Penn Station by a few centimetres, updated the wrong line running between New York and Woodside by adding an internal go via East Tunnel 3. Services include 2016, 2018, 2022 and 2024. Updated the timetable to correctly match the new track sections. Removed 2 incorrect 90-mile-per-hour speed limits from the junction at western end of Jamaica Station. Updated the Hunters Point Avenue to correctly display on the 2D map when selected. Updated the artwork for Long Island Railroad theme file from the Train Sim World 2020 version to Train Sim World 2. Fixed an issue with a warehouse collision volume at Hollis, fixed the PIS and platform signage at Bellerose so that they are quickly announced trains arriving, fixed the PIS signage at Floral Park so they are correctly announced trains arriving, updated the tunnel light at New York Penn so they now have the correct shadowing on all platforms, added collision volume so that the player no longer falls through the floor at 2 locations, fixed spelling error in the name of Sunnyside facility spawn point when choosing to spawn on foot, fixed an issue with a map collectible at Bellerose so that it should now be collectible, fixed an issue with the tutorial so that it can now be operated using classic or immersion control layouts. Added waypoints for services 2016, 2018, 2020 and 2022 to ensure they take the appropriate track between Floral Park and Hicksville to avoid conflict with approaching trains. Fixed an issue with the HUD and in-train speedometer so that the values displayed correlate. Fixed an issue with a broken fence collectible that can now be collected. Added some collectibles to make them easier to reach. Fixed an issue that would prevent players from returning to the platform after collecting a collectible at Queen's Village. Improved the exterior air conditioning audio on the M7, improved the alerter audio on the M7, and improved the interior air conditioning audio on the M7. Updated the horn audio on the M7. Improved the axle audio priority on the M7, improved the horn audio on the M7, added a range of localization fixes, fixed an issue that prevented the exterior numbering from displaying properly, allowing train formations so that they are consistent with other add-ons for substitution, updated the operator logo on the UI, and this is now for the M3, added livery designer support, added scenario planner support, added rail driver support, refactored medal thresholds so that they are now easier to obtain, fixed an issue with the tutorial so that it can now be operated using classic or immersion control layouts, fixed an issue with the HUD and the in-train speedometer so that values displayed correlate, fixed an issue with AI trains not displaying rear marker lights, replaced all M3 trains used as AI static with M7 trains, allowing train formations so that they are consistent with other add-ons for substitution, Improve the audio on the M3 so that the wind noise is now at a better volume. Improve the audio for the M3. The horn is now louder when the window is open. Improved audio mixes and volume adjustments so that the horn on the M3 now sounds correct. Added a range of localization fixes. Updated the exterior window viewing into the bathroom. There is now a closed blind behind the glass. Fixed an issue with the handbrake in the M3. Updated the dead man's pedal to stop the emergency brake from being applied when taken off. Added formations to substitute specific M7 services during the timetable mode. And now for the DBBR101. Fixed an issue with gangways so that they no longer produce gaps whilst the train is in motion. Updated brake indicators so they display green when brake cylinder pressure is under 0.5 bar. Fixed an issue with PZB indicators. Fixed an issue with gangway plates so they're now properly seated. Fixed an issue with the BPMMZ brake indicator so that now works properly. And one for the Isle of Wight. Fixed an issue with the doors close right control on the 18483 so that it now closes properly when using Rail Driver. But yeah, that is the update today. Obviously a massive update, and actually even in fact there was actually an update for the old TSW, which actually as I'm recording this has just finished, so I'm guessing that probably is synced with the NEC Long Island Railroad thing. But yeah, that was a lot. Obviously that's going to be a big update, and we will be checking that out on stream tonight. But that is going to be it from me. Obviously we'll find a link in the description to the Discord server and to the PayPal if you do want to help support the channel. Obviously big thanks to DTG Natalie for writing that, and then we could read it out to you guys. But apart from that, that is going to be it. Obviously do check out our merch store. But yeah, that is going to be it. Thanks all for coming in, and I hopefully will see you on the next one. Oh, and there's one other thing. We have been made aware that when selecting any S6 Leipzig S-Bahn service on the new 2021 timetable, you will experience derailments or be pushed back to the main menu, and a fix is already being worked on. But that is going to be it. Thanks for coming in, and I hopefully will see you in the next one. See you all, and take care.